Hey everyone, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, and I want to welcome you to a special Limb Lengthening Live. There's no particular episode number to this because this is just kind of an off-the-cuff episode. Basically, yesterday there was an announcement that I made about a limb lengthening patient survey, and it is regarding the PRECICE Nail. It was put together by the company and the research group for patient feedback. So let's see, share screen. And that's all I want to do tonight was just basically fill out the survey to walk you through it. If you are unsure about, click on it because I've gotten a few email responses from the email blast that I did earlier about should I click on the link? You know, is it safe? It's just a Google form. I swear there's no little ulterior motive or anything like that. So let's see here. Let me go ahead and do this. Alrighty. So here we are. This is the patient survey. And I'm going to go ahead and fill it out. And then if anybody wants to ask any questions about it, feel free. Otherwise, we're just going to, call it a day because tomorrow we got another live stream podcast. All right. So this is the survey. This is the patient survey. They're asking about some basic information about limb lengthening. So how old are you? I am in my 30s, if you didn't know. Let's see. What is your gender? Male. Let's see. What is your height in feet or inches? Let's see. 174.5 centimeters. Last time I remember, so I'll put that in centimeters. What is your ideal increase in height from cosmetic limb lengthening? How tall do I want to get? Well, if you remember way back, I did a video on if I got cosmetic limb lengthening, I would want to be 5'11". So if I'm just under 5'9", let's just say 5'9" with shoes on and everything, then I'd say I'd like to be 2 to 3 inches taller. That would, what is your ideal increase? So yeah, okay. So it'd be 2 to 3 inches taller. All right. Are you currently considering limb lengthening for non-medical reasons for increasing height? No, but I'm curious. Yeah, we're going to put that. How familiar are you with the limb lengthening procedures? I got to learn more. I'm not well versed at all. So, no, very familiar with that. Which of the following limb lengthening systems would you consider? All right, so here are the lengthening devices that they have for the options. They have PRECICE, Betts bone, G-nail, external fixators, other, no preference. I'm unfamiliar with this specific system. So if you went through this and you don't know what all these devices are, the PRECICE nails, the PRECICE nail, the Betts bone, and the G-nail are all intramedullary lengthening nails. They go inside of your bone. That's where the surgeon puts them, and they're your telescopic lengthening rods. These two, B and C, are mechanical lengthening nails. They do not have an external remote. And I don't know, they don't have the fit bone listed here, but I guess that's what other is for. But anyway, that's, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put, what would I consider? I would go with the PRECICE. I had the original PRECICE 1 for my lengthening way back in 2012. So I'm going to go with that. But if they had fit bone, I'd probably click on that as well. Anyway, if you were, well, I could do it. There we go. If you were to consider limb lengthening, how likely would you be able to, would you be to choose a system like PRECICE that does not require external hardware? Not likely at all. Oh, that does not require external hardware. Okay, like external fixator, very likely. So that's, let's see. Next one is, what would be your primary motivation for pursuing limb lengthening? Well, wouldn't be self-esteem or confidence. Got that. I'm good. Improve dating prospects, not an issue. Address height-related social pressures. Nah, not anymore. I'd say before my lengthening, I was always kind of a little bit self-conscious about my height. But it gave me a little bit to kind of stop thinking about it all the time. Improve professional or career opportunities? No, not really. Medical reasons, I used to have length discrepancy, no longer do, so that's corrected. So I'll go with physical appearance. You know me, I'm in bodybuilding. It's all about the looks of the superficial. So I'm just kidding. No, it'd probably be that. I know a lot of people would say proportion, so you'd probably click other if you have a proportional issue. What is the maximum amount you would be willing to pay for limb lengthening? All right. So, using traditional methods. So I would say, 75 to 100K, right? Because I think that with the current market, you look at it, you look at all the lengthening clinics. I think that you can get an experienced clinic to do your surgery for that price range. So I'm going to go with C. I think anything over that, you better be getting a huge ROI for that. I mean, the nail is very expensive as it is. And anything under that, you got to start considering, is it safe? Is it experienced? However, there are some clinics that can, I think B or C, you could probably get that. So what is the maximum amount you would be willing to pay for limb lengthening using the PRECICE system? Well, I let you say $5. So make it super cheap. No, I'm just kidding. I think it would follow, let's see, the maximum you would pay. I'd say 100K. All right. How would you plan to pay for limb lengthening? Well, if they had financing, yeah, love to do that, but it'd have to be out of pocket because we know how it is currently. Although there are some financing agencies out there, I think that are, or loan agencies out there. So I'll just say out of pocket for now, but yeah. How long after limb lengthening surgery would you be willing to recover before being able to return to full activity? So you got to be realistic, got to know the process. I have been through this before, so I know that within 8 months, I was back to, walking normally. I was back to the gym. I wasn't back to 100% by any means. I was probably about 60, 70%. But again, I had a smaller, it was the tibia. So 4 centimeters. So you think about that. If you think about you're doing 3 centimeters on your femur, you got to say that somewhere in that C or D range. Although there are some fast healers, but I'll say this. Alrighty. How important is achieving a highly functional and pain-free recovery, being able to resume daily activities without limitations during the recovery period after cosmetic? Okay, so how important is it to get back to normal life? Very important. That's the main goal, right? Get your legs broken, go through the lengthening, do your rehab, rebuild, and get back to normal. That's it. That's all you want. You don't want to have any long-term lingering complications from this procedure. If you do, you either didn't pick an experienced clinic or you didn't do your rehab. Plain and simple. All right. Where did you first hear about the limb lengthening procedure? So honestly, for me, this is way back. I think it was back in 2010, 2011. I was watching a TV program and I think it was a documentary and it was on I think it was a Russian documentary. And I think there was a young girl who had some form of skeletal dysplasia or, dwarfism that basically she needed to get bilateral lengthening to have, normal quality of life. And so I think it was, TV for me. So I'd say news or media. Yeah. So there's no, documentary kind of thing. In terms of the deciding factor and where to receive limb lengthening surgery, how important is the surgeon versus the lengthening device used? So that is a good question, but I would say the surgeons are way more important because you can pick a surgeon who knows how to use an external fixator and get a beautiful job done for your lengthening versus a surgeon who is complete butcher and they can have the best device and you could still end up, with a botched surgery. So surgeon's way more important for me. Which country do you currently live in? That is the United States. USA. If planning on surgery, what region do you intend to have your surgery? All right, so say North America. There we go. All right. That is my form. So that's all you guys got to do. So fill this out. The link is in the description. I'd appreciate it. Like I said at the beginning, a research group reached out to me about a month ago. We had a discovery call. They're working with Globus Medical, which pretty much merged with Nuvasive, specialized orthopedics, and they are working on, getting this, information so they can hopefully do some stuff with it. So that's pretty much what we got. All right, guys, I'm gonna submit my form and boom, that's it. All right, cool. That is all I had. Let's see, there's the chat here. I didn't even see that. Oh, we got a little guest. Hey there, Zach.
So,
How's it going?
hey, good, good.
How are you?
It's good to be on here. I'm all right.
That's good, man. Did you fill out
I
your
mean,
form?
yeah,
You
the
did.
survey, yeah, I did that.
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome to this exclusive live stream. It's a short live stream. All I wanted to do is fill out the form and then say hi to people.
Yeah,
But
no, I got it. I got it.
there's some people in the chat here. How are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been hard. It's rough. I mean, what I'm going through right now, and
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just a lot. It's hard to explain. It's just so much going on,
yeah. I
and
know we've been talking after our consultation, and you basically are, you're looking into limb lengthening as a solution for getting taller, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. So do you wanna go into your story, or do you feel like that's a little too much for right now? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Um, I mean, I don't mind going into a little detail about it. I mean, not too much. Maybe it was a lot. There's a lot to take in.
Okay.
But it's been an ongoing problem for many years right now. I mean, I I've been short for a long time. um, so I'm basically what I would say is probably approximately 163 centimeters, maybe 164. I would say 5'4", roughly 5'4.5". Um, yeah, so I've basically been picked on my entire life dealing with this situation. I mean, a lot of people will tell me, and I've been told before that it's not just about your height, it's about your personality, it's about how you carry yourself, it's your confidence. I mean, everything falls into place, but I mean, a lot of it has to do with what you've experienced through your life. I mean, there are people I know who grew up short too, but they went through different life experiences. They didn't have people who were their mentors and bullies that harassed them every day. And, you know, they weren't told that they were going to be taller, and then they ended up staying short. And I mean, it's been really rough because I mean, I grew up um, originally. I would say when I was maybe throughout grade school, I was pretty decent average height for my age. I mean, I was getting harassed and bullied every single day by kids. Kids shorter than me, kids the same height as me, kids taller than me. Same thing in what's it called? Same thing in middle school. Same problem. I was going at a decent rate too, but I went through bullying my whole life. I mean, I had to have the police officers had to come to my house. It was getting so bad. My parents were calling the police every day. Um, I was getting harassed terribly. It was bad, and but again, I was pretty much to myself. I didn't really have much friends. I didn't play much sports. I wasn't really good at sports either. Um, Same problem happened in camp. I used to go to day camp, and the same problems were happening. And I used to, well, my mom had a situation with the camp director. They didn't get along too good because he was very abusive. He used to beat up kids too, and he used to have the counselors. I think they were called. They were counselors. They were at the camps. They would take the kids. They would pull them by the ear. And they would throw me. They would do it to me. They would do it to other campers too. They would take you by the ear. They throw you to the ground. They put you in the corner if they didn't like something you did. I mean, there was no holding back. They just did whatever they wanted. And my mom witnessed this, so she was really frustrated about it. And so, because of her frustration about it, and she worked with kids too in the past. She wasn't a camp director or anything like that. She wasn't a counselor, but I don't want to go too detailed about Ellis. I know it's a lot.
No, you're good.
But we'll just get quickly through it. But after that, she complained. She tried to get the kids to do her own thing. She wanted to do her own thing because and work with kids and help other kids that were going through this. And the camp director didn't like that. He got pissed off at that, so he took most of his anger out on me. So it has a lot to do. I think that had a lot to do with me because him and his counselors, a lot of his counselors, they were his daughters and his children. The counselors that worked there were his kids actually.
Mm,
So he gave them power to do what they want, and then so that they would, he would take his aggression on me because he didn't like my mom. So I think a lot of that caused a lot of trauma for me growing up. And this is going on since age 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Even like before grade school, even well around grade school. So it definitely impacted me, and probably impacted. That's what caused me to become a little more very timid, and you know just the difficulty socializing, and so that's what went through grade school and middle school. I would say by age 14, when I was getting a little bit better, and I was working out, I was doing martial arts, I was taking classes of martial arts. I started actually when I was 12. But by the time I turned 14, I was actually getting in pretty good, decent shape with it, and it was actually improving a lot. But what I realized is the guys that were teaching at the martial arts school were actually very abusive towards me, and it was just, it was insane. What was really going on? I didn't really look and realize it because I looked at them. You know, when you're young and you're a child and you're a young teenager, you kind of you view people who are trying to help you. You see them as a mentor, and you view them as a mentor figure, and so you don't really see what's really going on. And so I was being abused there as well. I was being abused a lot. I mean, I hope they're not if they're watching this, they're gonna know what
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
they're watching it. It's live. Is
But
that
what am I
okay?
gonna do?
Yeah, it's already out
It's
there
fine.
now.
I don't. It's too late. Whatever. You know what?
Yeah.
There's a lot of abuse going on. They just did whatever they wanted. Really, sometimes they. I mean, sure, I was getting, I was feeling confident. I was feeling better about myself. We were doing a lot of, cool stuff, but at the same time, there was also a lot of heavy abuse going on. There was a lot of like, there was some form of hazing going on too. I mean, similar to what was going on at the day camp. There was a
Mm,
lot of hazing. They beat the living crap out of you. But the hazing what they were doing there was a little different. They would use it as a form of confidence, like, well, the guys at your school bully you. Well, we're going to make you stronger. We're going to make you better. And you know, it's just something happened along the lines. I mean, I was taking, especially at age 13, 14. The abuse was pretty strong. I mean, there was one guy there. One of them was the big mentor. I mean, there's a few mentors that were doing it there. A few karate teachers, but there was one karate teacher who he also did a lot of it. He like took me under his wing and told me like, I'm going to make you stronger, make you better. And but then they would like tell me, well, we don't want you talking to girls. We want you to do what we tell you to do. We're going to tell you we're going to make you strong. We're going to make you better. So at some point, I noticed at age 14 and a half, well, not even 14 and a half. I noticed this I would say when I was 14, I turned 14 in June. And I was growing at a decent rate. Even the karate teachers were like, "Wow, you look like you got taller. What's going on here? You're not supposed to be tall. You're supposed to stay short. What the fuck is? Oh, sorry.
You're
Watch that link. No, 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 no. I'm gonna keep.
you're
Watch out
okay.
for that.
You're all right.
I'm from New York, so we curse all the time. No, it's
What part
yeah,
of New York are you from?
Long Island.
Long Island. We can hear
Yeah,
it. My sister's husband's from there. Yeah. That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's how they. I keep that Long Island in me. It's funny.
awesome.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not like a. I'm not really a big cursor though. I'm really pretty reserved guy. Everybody tells me I'm very reserved. I'm very kind of quiet. I'm just. People say I'm just way too nice, like way too nice sometimes, and sometimes they tell me take advantage of that, but I try not to. But,
So you said that you're about 162 centimeters. Is that about 5'4"?
yeah,
Okay.
but
And you
I think 163.
163. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that you faced a lot of struggles over the years because of your height,
Hmm.
being bullied, being mocked, being ridiculed, and it's been extremely hard through
Yeah.
your adulthood. Um, would
Yeah.
you say that getting taller would help you resolve a lot of these issues? Do you really truly believe that?
Um. Honestly, and I hate to say it, it's I honestly do say so. It would. I mean, I have to say, yes, I agree it would. And the reason why I'm saying this is because all these years that I went through, even my doctor said to me, it's a whole mix of the trauma combined with how I've been treated now and the way I still get treated today. So this has been going on since age 14 up until now. I mean, it's been going on this long. My pediatrician doctor, when I was growing up through like grade school, middle school, and even well, even high school, I would say up until age 16. I'll say before that. Let's go with like middle school and grade school. He told me I was growing at a decent rate. He told me like, yeah, you're growing pretty tall. You're going to be taller than your dad. And you hear this a lot from parents. Like they say, Oh, the doctor, my son or my daughter, they told my daughter and son that the doctor told my daughter and son that my child's going to be taller than me, or my child's going to be like 6 feet. You know, what I mean, and then it usually ends up happening. I mean, they're pretty accurate
Mhm.
usually. I know they're not always accurate, but they say like, oh, your child is still growing. Your child's going to probably reach this height. So it's not like and I hear that all the time. I've heard it all the time, and their kids, they end up growing really tall to the height that they say that they're potentially supposed to grow to. And my doctor was even telling me, and I didn't really think about it at the time. My parents were very kind of on the reserve side themselves, kind of in a way, very somewhat passive. They don't really like think of it like, oh, what's happening to my son? Why isn't he growing? They just, I don't think they even heard the doctor say that. But I remember him telling me, and I just didn't really think about it, like, oh, cool, I'm going to be taller than my dad. Like he said, you're growing tall, you're growing pretty good. You'll be taller than your dad. You'll be a few inches taller. And my dad was 5'9", 5'9" and a half originally. So considering that, I was assuming, okay, a few inches taller than my dad, that could be anywhere from 5'10", 5'11", maybe close to 6 foot. I mean, my brother's 6'1", my sister is 5'5" and a half, I would say. My
Mm.
dad was originally 5'9" and a half, or maybe down to 5'9". He did shrink a little bit. He's older now, so he
Mm.
did shrink. He lost a few inches. My mom originally 5'4", which is the same height as me. Um,
Would you would you say so? So basically, most of your family is taller than you, except for you
yeah,
said your except for your mom. Your mom's about your same height.
yeah.
Okay, and you basically are looking into limb lengthening as an option to kind of get taller. What would so let's say you're 5'4" now. What is your goal
Yeah.
height? What would be your dream height?
Oh, get a foot tall and be 6'4". No, I'm just kidding.
6 foot
That's
4,
too
huh?
much.
Be a
No,
giant.
no, no. That's not realistic. That's
Okay.
well, I mean, if it was possible, I would. After what I've been going through, I mean, I could tell stories about what's been happening to me, and how people have treated me recently. I've literally been like really severely bullied, harassed. I mean, literally, even on my jobs as an adult now, like literally at jobs I've been working at, people have done terrible things to me. If they're watching this, yeah, you guys did some really messed up stuff.
Mm. So, okay, and what height would you like to get to if you're 5'4"? Like,
um,
realistically?
I would say 5'11", 5'10" and a half.
Okay, okay.
No,
So,
I
that's
that's hectic.
about how many inches from this? So that's about what, like 6 inches? 6.5 inches, okay. So, obviously, that's gonna require multiple surgeries to get there. Quite an investment, but I guess you can say that this is something that you're really looking forward to changing about yourself, and you feel really strongly about it, and obviously, you're doing it for yourself, but you notice that it's gonna have a I guess, like, it's gonna affect different areas of your life and make you feel better about yourself. Um, so that's great, Zach. I
Yeah,
appreciate you sharing your story. I mean, that and opening up. It's really hard to kind of talk about a lot of that stuff, but I think a lot of people watching probably can relate, with what you're going through. In fact, I've consulted
yeah,
with many of them that have expressed similar feelings. So I want to thank you for being open and authentic about that. It's definitely really hard. So on the survey, which I'm going to go back to here in a second. Uh, so everybody who's watching now, we have a few more people, but if you're watching, just tuning in now, make sure you fill out the survey. Link in the description. Long story short, there's the Globus Medical is trying to collect a lot of data for their PRECICE Nail lengthening system, and right now everybody knows that they're the gold standard in lengthening devices on the market, since they've come out. So fill out that survey. They're just collecting data from prospective, current, past patients, anybody who's kind of been interested in limb lengthening or been looking into it and whatnot. So Zach's filled his out. I filled mine out. I think the patients in the chat has filled theirs out. So that's really what we wanted to do today, is just kind of go over the form and talk to that. And then obviously, yeah, this was an open mic as well. Briefly, Zach came on to share his story and his struggles through his life about facing an uphill battle, being a guy in America of shorter stature. But you've been strong too, Zach. Because here you are
yeah,
telling your story. Because there's other people who are listening to you right now, and that's one sign of having that positive outlook, right? Because you could just completely give up, but you're saying, "Hey, you know what? I want to change something about myself, and I want to do something about this." And you're here, so That's a good
Yeah.
look, man.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
is there anything that you would like to say to anybody watching that might be going through a similar struggle like you?
Yeah. I mean, like, listen, just don't give up. I mean, do your research, look into it, uh, try to figure out ways to afford this. I mean, do what's good for you. I mean, if it makes you feel happy, I would say go for it. I would say don't hold back. I mean, there's so many opportunities. I mean, if it can help change your life. I mean, I know I've been told, people tell me that, so you're being selfish for wanting to get taller. They don't know my whole history. So I mean, I don't know everybody else's history. I don't know what any of you guys have been going through, but someone tells me, like, why would you want to do this? What if it doesn't change anything? What if people still treat you the same way? Or what if girls still treat you the same way? Or what if they still don't like you? They won't complain about your height now, but they'll still say things to you that they might say, well, they don't like your personality. They think you're not confident enough. Or honestly, I mean, if it's something that has been like, it's been hurting me and any of you guys, if you've been suffering this way, you've been treated terribly in certain ways, especially due to your height. I mean, if it's been affecting you, it can definitely change you. I think it would change me. I mean, it definitely would change me after what I went through. Look, I had the guys who were training me, who were like mentoring me, like teaching, karate and stuff. They were who were abusive, literally telling me, one of the guys, I mean, a few of them, there was maybe one or two, they were telling me, you better stay short. If you stay short, I will effing kill you, and crazy stuff like that. I mean, this is just like absurd, normal, abnormal. And that's been traumatizing to me. Like, I mean, I had bullies who were shorter in my height who used to bully me when I was a little kid. And then when I got to high school, they all shot up and grew like 2, 3 feet taller than me. And that was very traumatizing too, because now they saw, okay, well, now this guy, he's even more, feeling more reserved now. Now he's getting a little more scared, more shy than he was before. Seeing us now towering over him after what we put him through, now we're going for the kill. Now we're going to go in, and that's what they did. And it was just, it got a little brutal sometimes. I was like literally afraid to go to school. I mean, it was just, now I was getting picked on by guys who are now giants compared to me. And so if any of you guys feel the same way, if you've been through this, I mean, you might understand why I'm thinking about doing it, and I can understand why you guys would want to do it. I mean, I've talked to people on chats before, or on some forums, forum pages or whatever, and they were discussing about how miserable they feel because they're like 5'8". They want to get to be over 6 feet. They want to be over 6'2". And I'm like, I totally understand how they must feel. I mean, I don't know if they've been bullied or not. I didn't get to know that, but I mean, I was talking about how miserable I am. I've been tortured and bullied, crying about it, like, in my whole life, and most of my life, being 5'4", and have people who used to harass me when I was younger grew taller than me, and they were harassing me even more. And then people at other jobs who didn't know me, but they picked up on my reservedness, and seeing the height stature, they would call me names even at work. So not only getting bullied, not just, I mean, personality, your demeanor means a lot. You have to have confidence. That's very important. I mean, regardless of your height, you got to carry yourself. You got to learn how to really, you know, carry that confidence. If you don't, it's going to be hard. But the height, in my case, I feel would change a lot of things. I mean, I was getting bullied by guys at my jobs. I mean, when I was working at these different jobs I worked at, and this is like, food industry and all these different jobs, and where they don't treat you as good, and to begin with. And you got customers that don't treat you well. You got coworkers that don't treat you too good, and I was getting bullied and harassed all the time. And there were people, they were literally towering over me. So they were calling me midget, hobbit, you little hobbit, you midget, you terrible things like that. So, and they had no, like, they weren't even holding back when it came to like being physical. They could literally, they just push me to the side, move out of the way, you midget, move out of the way, hobbit, move out.
Yeah.
So
So it's been super rough. Definitely, man. I definitely super sympathetic for your case. And honestly, I've heard a lot of patients, mention the same thing. They echoed similar feelings. But like I said, you coming on here and sharing your story is going to help a lot of people,
yeah,
because they're going to realize that, you know what, I don't have to just accept this. I can do something about it. And it may not be getting the surgery. It may just be, like you said, stand up for yourself, have confidence, and, stand your ground, because that's step number one. And then, if the opportunity presents itself and it makes sense, and
yeah,
you realize the risks and the time that it takes to recover and the investment that goes into this, then perhaps limb lengthening is an option. And getting taller, look, it's a transformative procedure. I have talked to hundreds of patients, and it's like, the vast majority of them, and I'd say vast is in like 95% or more, have been extremely happy of doing this. It's super powerful, but at the end of the
Yeah,
day, I would
yeah.
say that, height alone without that confidence and that backbone is not going to make your life tremendously different, but it will definitely help in America in terms of like the type of ridicule you face and things like that for sure.
I
So
totally 100% agree. I mean, look,
yeah,
it's definitely, you can't just expect everything to work the way you want it. I mean, look, in my case, I think height would help me a lot because of what I've been called and been through, treated. I mean, physically and mentally and emotionally. I mean, like, I literally had people telling me who I grew up with who were abusing me, telling me that when I got older and I stopped growing, they were literally laughing and saying, "I'm so happy you stayed short."
yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
like you're the height of a woman. This is perfect. You should now change your appearance. You should now become a woman, wear a wig, and get. They even tell me get a sex change, and you'd be perfect. You're the height of that. I would fall in love with you if you became one. So because you're the height of one, and I'm towering over you. Things like this. And I went through this for so long, and this happened
Mm,
to me. And these guys were doing this to me, like. And the fact that even talking to a girl was difficult enough, and then when once a girl would actually, I had an opportunity where a girl would talk to me, these guys who I'm telling you about would actually get angry about it and be like, "You're not supposed to be talking. Why is a girl talking to you for? You dwarf. Like this
yeah,
can't happen." I mean,
yeah,
and the fact that I could have been taller, I mean, knowing that and I did some studies of things that did stomach growth. I mean, it goes back to the training I went through when they did to me at a young age, plus me causing that depression, and I think a lot of things, genetics play a factor, but I think a lot of things play into it where environment and lack of self-care growing up. And because I was so traumatized what I was going through that I didn't sleep, I didn't take care. I was just like, I cried every day going home from school. I cried every day. In my teenage years. It was bad.
yeah.
And I mean, I can't prove, there's no proof to say for sure. But
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is you are your current height, you wanna change it. I mean, that's the fact of the matter, and, I think
yeah,
that, when something happens, it's like looking forward, don't get me wrong, I'm anybody, you know, something happens to them, they're gonna ponder, they're gonna think about it. Like for me, if I get injured in the gym, I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" Like recently I had a knee injury and I'm like, really worried about it in my contest prep. But, I think
yeah,
right now it's like, okay, how can I work around this? How can I manage this? And I think the best approach is to kind of build a strategy and kind of execute it perfectly. And I think that's kind of like what we've talked about in the past. And what you're planning to do, and I really like that. And like I said, coming on here and sharing your story briefly was really helpful, and I really appreciate it. But real quick before we go off, I just want to kind of go over this form one more time for people. Let me just share my screen here. Let me see, is it showing? Yeah, it is showing. All right, so guys, real quick, I filled this out earlier in the stream. This is just a short stream tonight. Basically, it is a form that was put together by Globus Medical, and just an interest form here. They're just doing some data collection for their medical device, the PRECICE Nail, and or one of the successors, hopefully. So fill this out, submit it. It's anonymous. There's no data, no um, identifying information. As you can see, this is one of my other Google accounts that I opened up in. It's not sharing your email. So your email and Google account are not part of your response. We're trying to get as many responses sent out and submitted so they can have accurate data from the real limb lengthening community. So your voice will be heard. This is like voting in an election. Okay, so really vote, fill out this form, submit it. Let's get this out. Let's do a fast turnaround for this so we can kind of get the data and see if it can help them do something with this thing, right? Because they haven't given me a whole lot of information about what this is all about, but they just said, "Hey, we're collecting something for the PRECICE Nail," right? So we already know we have the PRECICE 2.2. So what other PRECICE Nail could there be? Yeah, go figure. So anyway, fill this out. It'll be doing the whole limb lengthening community a huge favor because I know everybody and their family is emailing me about the PRECICE Max and whatnot. Well, this is your best bet to help out that cause. So fill out this form. That's pretty much all I have on that. I want to thank Zack for coming on, sharing his story. I'm sure we'll have future discussions. You can always come back on different roundtables or whatnot. Tomorrow, we actually have our official weekly live stream. We're going to be interviewing a cosmetic femur lengthening patient who did do the full 8 centimeters or 3 inches. And we may have a special guest as well. So, all right, guys, that's all we have for this exclusive little mini live stream podcast. I don't think there's any questions. Yeah, I don't think anybody has any questions in here in the chat about the form, which is really what we're looking for. So that is it for this episode of Lengthening Live, and we'll see you next time. This is Victor from Cyborg for Life, signing out. See ya. Peace.